Hello friends, in our previous video lecture, we seen I/O interfacing with the 8086, where we have seen different methods of interfacing I/O devices like I/O mapped I/O and memory mapped I/O. Okay, now in this video lecture, we'll see how to interface an 8-bit input device with the 8086 microprocessor. Let us take an example of interfacing a switch, an 8-bit switch with the 8086 processor. So the figure shows the interfacing of an 8-bit switch with the processor. So the figure consists of mainly three blocks. One is 8086 processor, another one is 74LS244 is a tri-state buffer IC, and then an 8-bit DAP switch. So these three blocks are used to interface the switch with the processor. To address the 8-bit switch, an 8-bit address is used here. Even you can use a 16-bit address also. So here we are using an 8-bit address to address the switch. So we are considering the address bits A0 to A7 of the processor 8086. So that we can assign an 8-bit address to the DAP switch. So we can assign different addresses. That means we can use any address to assign the switch. That means we can assign any address to the switch. So here we are assigning an address of 8FH. That is, in 8086 we are using address pins here A7 to A0. So A4, A3, A2, A1, A0 address bits of the processor we are using to address the 8-bit switch. So the address we are giving here is 1000, the value is 8 and 4 ones F. So 1000 gives the value 8 and 4 ones gives the value F. So the overall value is 8FH. So we are assigning the address to the input device, that is the switch, is the 8FH here. So an 8-bit address 8FH is assigned to the switch. So what we are doing is, so we know A0 is 1, A1, A2, A3 1, and A7 is also 1. So all the address bits are 1 except A4, A5, A6. So what we are doing is we are connecting A4, A5, A6 address pins to the NOT gate, so that we'll get 1 from the A4, A5, A6 address bits also. So whenever an address 8FH is available on the address pins, so the AND gate will get all ones, as the A4, A5, A6 pins are inverted. So AND gate will get all the ones. So when the inputs are all ones to the AND gate, so we'll get the output also 1 at the AND gate. So whenever the output is 1 at the AND gate, so that goes as the input to the NAND gate, and another input to the NAND gate is from the IO read pin. So we can read the data from the switches, that is, whatever the data available at the switch can be read by activating this IOR signal, that is IOR bar input output read signal, which is the active low signal. So whenever 0 is set on this pin, allows us to read the data from the IO devices. So that is also connected to an inverter, that is a NOT gate. So whenever 0 is received on this pin, it goes through the inverter and then receives 1 at the input of the NAND gate. So both the inputs of the NAND gate will be 1. When both the inputs of the NAND gate are 1, output of the NAND gate will be 0. So for AND gate, if all the inputs are 1, then output is 0. Output is 1. Whereas for NAND gate, if all the inputs are 1, then output is 0. So both are inversely proportional, and NAND gate, both are quite opposite. That means if AND inputs are 1, output is 1. If NAND inputs are 1, output is 0. So whenever the output from the AND gate is 1 and IOR input you receive 1 here, so both ones you'll get the output as 0. So for the 8F address you will get 0 here at the output of the NAND gate. Then it enables the 1G bar and 2G bar signals of the 74LS244, which is active low signals. So the buffer gets selected. So whenever the buffer gets selected, so whatever the data available on this switches, so there is 8 switches. This is an 8-bit DAP switch. These 8 switches are connected to this buffer to the pins 1A1, 1A2, 1A3, 1A4, and then 2A1, 2A2, 2A3, 2A4. So to the pins, to the A pins of the 74LS244, all the switches are connected to, and whatever the data available at the switches, if it is closed or open, so based on that I will get a value 1 or 0. So that value that is available at the switches, either 1 or 0, is transferred onto the data buses D8 to D15. So why we are using the data buses only D8 to D15? Because we have chosen an address that is 8FH. So 8FH is an odd address. So A0 is 1. So whenever A0 is 0, it is defining even address. Whenever A0 is 1, it is defining the odd address. So for odd address, the data transfer always takes place on a higher order data bus D8 to D15. So based on the address, the data pins are getting selected. So we are using the odd address, that is 8FH is an odd address. So for odd address, the data transfer takes place on the higher order data bus D8 to D15. So whatever the 8-bit data that is available at the switches get transferred to the processor on the pins D8 to D15. So to read the data at the switches and to switches available at the address 8FH. Now the switches are assigned with an address 8FH and 8-bit address 8FH. So to read the data that is available at the address 8FH and store it in the processor, we use an instruction called as INAL, 8FH. So this instruction allows us to read the data available at the address 8FH and store that value in AL register. So in is an instruction and out is another instruction. They are used for accessing the data on the IO devices. So this in instruction allows you to read the data from the address 8FH and place the data in AL register. So this is how you can interface an 8-bit device like a switch input device, an 8-bit input device like a switch to the processor. So even you can assign a 16-bit address. Now we have seen this example with the help of an 8-bit address. So you can do the same with the help of a 16-bit address. So you can assign 16-bit address, and for that you need to consider 8 more address pins. Here we have taken only the address pins A0 to A7. So we need 8 more address pins to provide the 16-bit address. That is, we need to use A8, A9 and so on up to A15. So 8 more address pins are required in addition to the A0 to A7 to address to provide the 16-bit address. So for example, you can write 008FH. So 008FH is a 16-bit address. So you can have the 16 address lines here to provide the 16-bit address like 008FH to the 8-bit input device. Okay. Now the same thing can be explained in terms of decoder also. So this is we have seen with the help of a logic gates. So the address is assigned to the switches just with the help of logic gates. Now the same can be done using the decoder IC. So we look at this decoder IC. So the address can be generated by using even decoder IC also. So we are taking a 74LS138 decoder. So 74LS138 decoder is a 3x8 decoder with 3 inputs and 8 outputs. Now this decoder is having 3 inputs A, B, C, and it has 8 outputs Y0, Y1, Y2, Y3, Y4, Y5, Y6, Y7, and 3 inputs A, B, C. So all the outputs are connected to addresses, represents addresses. That is Y0 represents 88 address, Y1 represents 89 address, Y2 represents 80 address, Y3 represents 8B. So likewise Y6 represents 80 and Y7 represents 8F addresses. So the same that we have done here, assigning 8F address to the switch through the 74LS244 IC. The same 8F address can be assigned to the same 8F address can be assigned to the switch through the decoder. So we are assigning 8F address to the 74LS244 buffer IC through the decoder 74LS138. So we have 3 address pins, A0, A1, A2, and we have 8 outputs, Y0, Y1, Y2, Y3, Y4, Y5, Y6 and Y7. And this 74LS138 IC also have 3 enable pins. So one is G1, another one is G2 A bar, another one is G2 B bar. So we use all these 6 pins to assign the address. So how we are going to do that is, so we are first, if you want to assign an 8-bit address, just like that we have done in the case of A7, A6, A5, A4, A3, A2, A1, A0. So for an 8F address, so we are going to use 100 and then all ones. So this is for 8FH address. So if you want to use one more address, like you can use 80H or you can use $8DH, so and so on. You can on using 1000. Let me check whether 1000. So 1000 is 88H. So we can assign 8 different addresses. So we can assign 8 different addresses through the decoder. So if you look at the decoder IC here, so we can assign 8 different addresses: 88H, 89H, 80AH, 8BH, 8CH, 8DH, 80H, 8FH. We can assign 8 different addresses. So that can be obtained like this through the address bits A0 to A7. So all the address bits are connected here. So A0, A1, A2 are the inputs of the decoder, and A3, A7. So A3, A7 are connected to the G1 pin through the AND gate, and A4, A5, A6 are connected to the NAND gate through the inverter, and then they are connected to the enable pins G2 A bar and G2 B bar. Now how this works is very simple. So if you look at this, always the A7 pin is 1 and always the A3 pin is also 1, and A4, A5, A6 pins are always at 0. So A4, A5, A6 pins, A4, A5, A6 pins, they are always at level 0. So A4, A5, A6 pins are connected to the NAND gate through the inverter. So whenever A4, A5, A6 are 0, for NAND gate we will get all ones as a input. So whenever the inputs to the NAND gate are 1, the output is 0, so that it enables the G2 A bar and G2 P bar of the 74LS138 IC. And similarly, A3 and A7 are also always 1. So A3, A7 pins are connected to the AND gate. So whenever A3, A7 are 1, so always we know A3 and A7 are 1. So whenever they get 1 to the AND gate, so it also enables the G1 pin of the 74LS138. So always A3, A7 they are 1, so they enable G1 pin, and A4, A5, A6 are always 0, so they enable G2 A bar and G2 B bar, that is they enable the IC always whenever this combination occurs. And what about the rest, A2, A1, A0, they goes on changing. That means for A2, A1, A0 we can use different inputs, that is you can use 111, 110, 101 or 100, or you can use 011 or 010 or 001, or you can use 000. So based on this combination an address gets selected. So if you put all A2, A1, A0 as ones, all ones are applied to A2, A1, A0. So when all ones are applied to A2, A1, A0, so A7, Y7 gets selected. So whenever all the inputs are 1 to the decoder, Y7 gets selected. So when Y7 gets selected, you'll get the address 8FH. So you'll get the address 8FH. In case if all the inputs A2, A1, A0 inputs are 0, 0, 0, so you'll get the address 88H. So whenever the inputs A2, A1, A0 are all zeros, so whenever these inputs are all 0, Y0 gets selected, the address will be 88H. In case if your inputs are 101, so if your inputs are 101, then the value is 5. So whenever inputs are 101, the value is 5, so 8DH gets selected. So based on the different input combinations at the decoder, one of the address gets selected. So here we are choosing to apply 8FH to the switch. So Y7 gets selected, and Y7 is a active low input. So Y7 is a active low input, so that is applied to the inverter, and you will get 1 at the input of the AND gate, and another signal IO read signal is a active low signal, and it is also applied through the inverter, and you will get 1 at the input of the AND gate. So we will get both ones at the input of the AND gate, produces 0 at the output of the NAND gate. So when you get the 0 at the output of the NAND gate, it enables the IC 74LS244 IC. So it enables the IC 74LS244. That is, in the place of this logic gates, we are going to use the decoder. So in the place of logic gates, we are going to use the decoder. So the output of the decoder is connected to 1G bar and 2G bar of 74LS244 IC. So the output of decoder is connected to 74LS244 IC, 1G bar, 2G bar enable pins, so that it enables the buffer IC. So this is how the address can be assigned to the input device like a switch using the a decoder. So we have seen both cases. One is assigning an address to the input device like a switch, and then through the logic gates, and also through the decoder IC. Okay, now let us see how to interface an output device with the 8086. So it is also simple. It is also as simple as interfacing the input device. Now let us look at the interfacing an 8-bit output device with the 8086. Let us see how to interface an 8-bit output device with the 8086. So in the place of buffer IC, we are going to use a latch here. So 74LS373 is an 8-bit latch, as an octal latch, 8-bit latch, 74LS373. It has got 7 inputs and 7 outputs. D0 to D7 are the 7 inputs. They are connected to the address bits of the 8086 processor, and we have 7 outputs lines Q0 to Q7 they are connected to 8 LEDs. So 8 outputs of the D latch is connected to the 8 LEDs, and the address to the LEDs are assigned through the address pins A0 to A7. So the address that we are assigning here is, so A0 to A3 all are zeros, and then the rest is all ones. That is, we are assigning address 4 ones F and 4 zeros 0. So we are assigning the address F0H to the LEDs. So assigning the address F0H to the LEDs through the 8-bit latch or octal latch 74LS373, and this latch can be enabled through the clock signal. And the construction is shown here for 8-bit output device with the help of a logic gates. So same, just like an input device, this can be replaced with the help of a decoder, but here it is shown only for logic gates. So you can do this with the help of a decoder, just like we have done for input device. And now we are going to use IO write signal to write the data to the output device. For input device, we need to read the data, so we use IO write signal, which is active low signal. Here also IO write signal is also active low signal. So whenever the address is given is available on the address lines, so we'll get 1 at the output of the AND gate, and from IO write signal also you'll get 1 at the input here. So when both ones are applied, clock gets enabled. When clock gets enabled, the latch gets selected. So whatever the data available at the inputs of the latch, so from the processor we'll get the data D0 to D7. So the data is given to the LEDs through the D0 to D7 pins. So the LED, based on the input combination, the different LEDs may glow and different LEDs may be in off condition. So this is how to interface an output device with the 8086. So thank you for watching.